Hello there and welcome to ADcraft. Today I'm showing you how to build this ultimate survival igloo in your world. It's got a full interior which I'll be running through in detail with you, and there is a full world download as well to help you, so don't go anywhere and let's get on with it. Here's the materials for the build that you'll need, including everything for the interior. Marked on screen is an area of 28 by 31 represented by the black box, and the entire build will fit inside this area. First we're going to lay out the footprint for the igloo, which is going to be a circle, and we're going to do this by coming in by 3 blocks from the left hand side and from the front of the build. Now each of the long sides of this, as you can see on screen, are 5 blocks long, then inside that you have 2 blocks, and then you have the others are 1 block each. So lay your circle out like this. I've used red wool, but what you want to be using is actually laying this out as snow blocks, but obviously they wouldn't show up on the screen. Within the ring of snow blocks, once you've laid them out, we are going to then go and dig 2 blocks down. Now you don't need to put additional snow blocks in because we're going to be placing the flooring, so you won't be able to see this. But everything inside this ring of snow blocks, just dig it 2 blocks down. 5 blocks in at the centre of the build, from the front, we're going to replace this block here with a hay bale, and we're going to put a campfire on top of that. Now around the edge of this, we're going to put a line of the cobblestone stairs, like so, and around the edge of that, we're going to have a line of spruce slabs going all the way round. Once we filled those in, on the front, and this is the front of the build, we're going to have 3 of the spruce slabs on this side. And then on either side, just 1 in the middle block, like so. We're then going to switch to our andesite stairs, and next to each of these blocks, we're going to add some seats in just like so, and it'll look like this. And that's our little seating and fire area. Now at the left-hand side of the build, along this long section, we're going to start our stairway down to the mine. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to place ourselves a spruce stair here, and then we're going to start digging out some of the blocks, going down this way, like so, up to this point. Here's going to be a plank, and then we're going to add some stairs all the way up. Now on these sides, then you'll want to tidy these up by just replacing all of these with some spruce, because you will be able to see these going all the way around. With the stairs to the mine nice and tidy, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start placing some of the spruce planks, and these are literally, apart from this wall that's got the stairway going down, are simply going to cover the rest of the floor. So fill all of this space in using some of the spruce planks. Once the floor's done, we need to add a little bit of block variety to it. So on this bottom section, we're going to use some oak slabs occasionally and just randomly mix those in. It doesn't really matter where they are, just put them as many or as few as you like, just in order to get a bit of variety. And as I say, then onto this main section where you've got the full oak planks, you can not only use the full spruce planks rather, you can not only use some oak, but what you can also do is take some stripped spruce logs and put those in various different directions as well. So go through with one type of wood first and randomly place those, and then just go through with something else like the oak and put those in as well. With the floor in, the next thing to do is to come to this line of snow blocks that we've got, and basically we're going to add a full line of snow blocks going right the way around on top. Now to place the framework over the top of the build, which will be the basis for the igloo. So the first thing to do is come to the centre of any of the sides and build up 2 blocks. And these are snow blocks. Then using a temporary block, I'm just using dirt here, place a block on top of that, and then on the inside, place 2 more blocks going upwards, a block on top of that, 1 more block on the inside, a block on top, 1 more on the inside, and then this time a block on top, and we're coming 2 inwards. So rather than going up, these 2 are going inwards. Place 1 more block on top, and then once we place these 3, this middle one will be the middle of the build. So we're going to do that on all of the 4 sides, and that will then link up to this block here in the middle. Next, we're going to build each of these quarters individually. So whatever steps I take on this quarter, just repeat them in each of the other quarters. And what we're going to do is start filling in these blocks. So come into one of these little apexes and create a little L with some snow blocks. So basically you've got a block in the middle and 2 blocks either side. And that also includes these ones at the top. With those filled in, the next step that we're going to do is we are going to firstly place 2 blocks here and 2 blocks here on this side. Then we're going to follow the inside of this block with another L shape. So again, 2 blocks here, 2 blocks here, and then we've got an L shape that just links up in the middle like this. Same on the top, 2 blocks either side, and then the L shape in the middle. So complete that all the way around. Next, we are going to follow these edges all the way around to connect up these blocks. So simply we're going to come up, and then when it moves in, we're going to come across. So they're touching on the corners all the way around, and that's going to connect us to this block. We're then going to do the same on this side, so it's touching all the way around and connects up. And then we do the same on the top. So we come up and then just follow this all the way around, touching on the edge, and that will then connect up here. And as you can see, we've now just got this little hole in, so we'll carry that on and do those in the other quarters. To finish off each of these little holes, we'll need some more temporary blocks, and we're going to place 3 first of all in each of these edges, and just on top of this one and inside this, moving in to cover up some of the space, we're going to place our snow blocks there. Then we've got these 3, so we'll need 3 more temporary blocks. Doesn't matter where you place them, as long as you've got an edge then to place your snow block against. We're just going to bring those in, and that finishes off that last little section. And you can take out the temporary blocks, and then that's your igloo finished, once you've done it on the other sides, of course. You'll now find that you're trapped in your igloo, so we're going to go across this fireplace to the front of the build, and we're going to take out 3 blocks here, and we're going to take everything out here so that we can make an entrance 4 blocks high and 3 blocks wide on this side. For the entrance, bring the blocks out by 2 at the front here. Then we're also going to add 1 more line of 3 on top, a line of 3 by 3 in the middle to bring us out to the same on this line, and finally take out this line of dirt blocks and replace them with some snow. For the entrance, first of all, we're going to place 5 snow layers on each of these positions. Then from the outside, we'll place a spruce door here. Coming inside the build, we're going to place 3 then spruce trapdoors going up here, 3 on the other side, and then 1 on the top of the door itself. And we're going to close all of those like so. Outside then the build, we are going to take an oak stair here, and then 1 in the top corner there and there, with some oak trapdoors just surrounding the doorway itself. Lastly, an oak fence above the door with a soul lantern. With the basic shape of the igloo, first of all, we're going to add a couple of blocks in here. So we're going to add 3 blocks around one side and 3 blocks around the other side like this, just to help that entrance merge into the rest of the build. We're then going to add some windows using some light blue stained glass blocks that are going to be just above each of these initial bumps on all of the sides, and these are going to be the 3 windows that we're going to have in the build. You could add more windows if you wanted, but I'm just adding these 3. And now to add some block variety, I'm not going to go through this entirely, but the 3 blocks that we're going to be using are stone, packed ice, and the calcite block. You can use extra blocks if you wanted to use or had available some quartz or some white wool, but for me, I'm just going to be using these, and that looks obviously like some foundation blocks, some ice, and obviously some dirty snow. So predominantly these are going to be going in at the bottom, with these 2 at the bottom, with more of the calcite coming in later on, but some of the ice up at the top as well. I'm not going to show you the block by block of placing these, because you can literally put them wherever you like, but if you did want to see in more detail, of course, there is the world download. So I'll pop in these blocks all the way through the build. Now we've added in the block variation, you can see that I've not used many of the stone, just kind of for the foundation at the bottom for some protruding stones. But what we're going to do now is we are going to add a little chimney in, and that is going to be here. So we're going to come to the front just by the doorway before we get to the top lump, and as we look down, that's directly above the fireplace there. And what we are going to do is we're going to place ourselves a soul fire campfire here, and then surround that with some spruce trapdoors on 3 sides. So that is then going to give us the chimney with the smoke coming up from here. Now just using some snow layers, and again you can do this any way that you want. We'll do the middle first, and I'll show you what I mean. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. you can just round off the top of the igloo and add a bit more shape to it. So we'll do the same on various different parts of this, just to kind of link it all up. Now, it is better to have consistency, so what you've done on one side, just repeat that on the other side. But however you want to place these snow layers is entirely up to you, just to round things off on the igloo a little bit. With everything rounded off with the snow layers, then we're going to add some detailing, and that's going to be firstly on the windows. So each of the windows, we're going to put a spruce trapdoor and close that next to them. Now, here on the left-hand side, we're also going to place 2 of the top slabs surrounded by some bottom slabs going around, and this is going to be a little porch area. On either side of that, we're going to place some of the spruce trapdoors coming level, and then also a line of the spruce trapdoors coming across the front here as well. Finally, we're going to add some supports in using some of the spruce fences, just linking those up. Underneath here, we are going to add a little blacksmithing area. So we're going to start with a cauldron and a blast furnace here, and then we're going to have an andesite wall with 2 more walls on top with a flower pot on top of that. That's a little chimney stack. Here we're going to have an anvil. Then next to this, we are going to have a smithing table with a stone cutter, and then a crafting table. And then over this side, next to this pillar, we are going to get ourselves a little grindstone there. Then we are going to place ourselves a couple of slabs and a slab here. Finish this off by placing some of the spruce on top of that. The one other thing that we are going to do is grab ourselves a lantern, which is one of the soul lanterns there, like so, and we'll simply place that soul lantern hanging just above the smithing table, and then we're done. Starting on the interior now, we're going to put some spruce trapdoors going over our entrance to the mine, so we can open and close those as we wish. Next, we're going to take some barrels and place them on the 2 sides underneath the window. And on the far side from the mine entrance, we're going to add 3 snow blocks so that we can add ourselves 3 of these ladders to get up to the mezzanine floor. Next, we're going to place some bookshelves underneath the other window, and now we're going to simply fill in underneath here and the other side with some spruce slabs for the first step. Now we're going to come to the back of the build, and we're going to fill in a further 4 slabs coming outwards, and then we're going to fill that in right the way across on both sides and fill all this area in. With that filled in, we're going to continue the slabs coming out in front of these barrels, and then the 2 blocks after this ladder, and then we're going to fill the other side in to the same spot. We're also going to then fill in an L shape here and an L shape here. Now on this mezzanine floor, we're just going to do what we did beneath, and we're going to add in just some random of the oak slabs here, just to mix up the colours a little bit. Doesn't matter where you put them, it's entirely up to you, but yeah, just mix in a few of the oak slabs. And then round the edge here, we are going to run a line of the trapdoors, and these are going to be the spruce trapdoors going all the way around the edge of the build, including in front of this ladder here. And what we're actually going to do, I'll take that out and replace that with a trapdoor underneath there. It just looks a little bit neater. And there we go, we've got now the finished mezzanine floor. Now to add the decoration upstairs, we're going to put, first of all, a nice big bed. So we're going to have 3 beds in the middle. At the ends of the beds, we're going to have 3 spruce slabs. Now either side of the bed, we're going to have a chest, well, basically a barrel here. Then on either side of that, underneath this block, we are going to have ourselves a crafting table, and then just placed in random directions, we've got 3 barrels in this section, and exactly the same mirrored on the other side, so we've got 3 barrels here as well. So we've got a nice little pattern of barrels going there. Then we've got just underneath there, we're going to add ourselves some lanterns. Now you can hang those or you can leave them on the floor, it's entirely up to you. I'm going to pop these on the floor like so, and now around the bed we're just going to add ourselves some nice carpet, so it's nice and warm and snug when we're in there. And those are going to go round just like this, so you've got a nice little section which is red and warm and nice here. To add some further detail to this, we can just add some various trapdoors, and we can close some of those against some of these barrels in various different places. We can also add some more trapdoors to the floor, just again at random intervals, just to add a bit more variety to that and just make things look a bit more interesting. So let's put another one just on the floor there, and there we go, it's nice and balanced. Again, using some more trapdoors, we're going to place some underneath each of these, and just across here we're going to also place a line of the trapdoors there. So we'll do the same on all of these sides and at the top, just like so, obviously making sure that you get them all the right direction so that they all look neat and tidy. Now the final thing that we're going to do is we're going to take ourselves some fences, and above this we are going to add 2 fences either side and a fence gate in the middle. We'll do the same on the 2 edges, just again as a bit more detail to make it a bit more visually interesting. And then using some fence gates just on each of these, where you put them is just completely random, but just add yourself 3 fences around on the actual edges here like this. Now here on this side as well, we are going to put those trapdoors there just in underneath, and then the last set of fences that we're going to place is just going to be here. So we'll do it like that, and that pretty much is the upstairs finished. Next, we're going to add some lighting in here, so we're going to place a chain here on either side of the bed. We're then also going to place a chain here, and those are both going to have lanterns hanging down from them. Place them like so. Now we are going to have a cauldron hanging down over this, so we're going to place ourselves 4 fence gates. So there's a fence gate, just a fence rather than a fence gate rather, just in there, and hanging down from this we are going to have a nice long chain. Place it in the right direction, coming right the way down through this smoke, and there we go, one more chain, and then we are going to place our cauldron against the bottom of that, just like so. There we go. Now in the cauldron you can have lava, you can have water. I'm just going to pop some water in, and as you can see that's now just floating above there. In fact, let me just make that one block further down, and then it can be a little bit closer to the fire. Brilliant, just like that. So there we go, we've got the cauldron in place here. Now either side of this cauldron we are going to have ourselves some more chains hanging down, and we're going to have some smoking racks. So the chains are going to come down here, and it's not going to come down quite as far as the cauldron, it's going to be just above this. So one chain lower, then on the underside of that we're going to place ourselves a trapdoor. I'll just show you this on one side because it is the same on both sides. Then we're going to bring the chain down on the other side as well, and bring that down so it's parallel and level with the first one that we've got. Underneath again we're going to place an oak trapdoor and then an oak trapdoor between them, and then what we're going to do is on this we are going to place ourselves one of these nice campfires, and going in we can just pick some random raw food, pop that onto our hot bar, doesn't matter what you pick, and just pop on a couple of things on here like so, and then get ourselves a spade and put this fire out, and those will always now stay on there, so it's nice as a kind of little smoking rack that goes either side. So build one of those on either side of this. The final thing that we are going to do is we're going to fill this in, apart from this center block just there, we're going to fill all of this in with some slabs with the spruce, and from that center block we are going to have another hanging light, but we're not just going to have any hanging light, we're going to get ourselves a hopper so it fits into that gap nicely and creates ourselves, as long as we shift click into it, a nice little feature coming down, and this is going to come right the way down in the center of the build down to about this level, where we can then have a lamp, probably one higher actually, there we go, to this level where we can have a lamp that's going to start illuminating the downstairs, and it is that downstairs that we're going to start working on now. For the downstairs, the first thing we're going to deal with is the smelting array. So what we're going to do is we're going to place first of all a crafting bench here, and then here next to the crafting bench we're going to place 2 barrels. We're going to come around the back of the barrels and we're going to place ourselves 2 hoppers into those, and then we're going to have a smoker and a blast furnace, let's have it the other way around, in this space. So we've got the nice edge of the smoker there. We're going to then have ourselves one nice trapdoor covering up those. So anything you put in there will then appear in the barrels once it's finished smelting. To cover up this side, we're going to have some barrels again going in the different direction. And now dealing across the back here, what we are going to do is we're firstly going to place ourselves 2 more barrels. So we'll place 2 barrels there. Let's have this one going up that way. And each of these is going to have 3 furnaces feeding into it. So the first one is going to have this furnace set up. So there's going to be 2 hoppers going in from that side and 1 hopper going in from this side. So that's 3 feeding in there. And then this side, we're going to have a hopper going in here, and then 2 more hoppers coming out this way. In front of those hoppers, we're going to be placing ourselves some trapdoors. We'll place ourselves a lantern on the floor there, because that is actually a blank space. So we'll just have some hidden lighting in the back there. And then above all of these, we simply fill in some furnaces like so. And the last thing to do on this side is again place some more of the trapdoors to cover those up. Next, we're going to look at the enchanting setup which every survival base needs. So the first thing we're going to do is place 3 bookshelves, and that's going to be 2 high here. We're going to replace this block and this block with some bookshelves, and we're going to put 2 sets of 2 bookshelves there. We're also going to put 1 bookshelf here and 2 bookshelves here, and that will give us enough bookshelves to give us a full level 30 enchanting setup. In front of this bookshelf, we're going to put an anvil, and we're going to place a grindstone just up there. On top of this, we are going to place a plant pot with a spruce sapling, and on the other side, we are going to place ourselves a lantern and a spruce trapdoor, just covering the edge of that end of that bookshelf. Now we're going to add ourselves some carpet, and we're going to have some carpet going across like this, just to give us a nice bit of red and change the colours up a little bit. Finishing off this side of the build now, we're going to start by placing a couple more carpets just down here. Next to this, we're going to place some barrels, and again putting them in whichever directions that you want so that they look a bit interesting. On the edge here, we're going to have a crafting table, and on that crafting table, let's have a plant pot, and again we'll need to shift click and whatever you want to put in there. So I'm just going to use a blue orchid. Then we're going to be adding some barrels, so there's going to be a barrel here, and then a barrel there, a barrel here in the center, and then 2 more barrels whichever direction you like on this side. We'll have ourselves a lantern on this one, and we'll have ourselves a lantern on this one, and then we'll just add ourselves some trapdoors against some of these like we did upstairs, just to make them a little bit more interesting. On the other side of the build, we're going to start with some red carpet, and we're going to run that across here. One thing that we are going to do is we are going to knock out these 2 blocks and these 2 blocks as well, because we're going to place a door here, and I'll explain that a bit later. But now we're going to come across and start placing some more of these barrels in the same way that we placed them before, just randomly placing them in different directions. But where we had a crafting table there, we're going to have a barrel this time, and on top of that barrel we're going to have a stone cutter. And then on this again, we are going to simply just add in some of the trapdoors in various different positions to make things look a little bit more interesting. Maybe add a trapdoor there, for example. Now we add a lantern here, just on top of this. In front of this red carpet that we've just placed, we are going to place ourselves a barrel. Then for this edge one, the one that's closest to the enchanting setup, we're going to start placing some barrels, and we're actually going to place 5 barrels in a cross shape. And again, doesn't matter how you want to set those up, but any way that you like really. On top of this edge one, we are going to place another one, so let's place that facing up like so. And here on the side that is closest to this crafting table, we're going to dig out this block. We are going to dig out the block beneath so we can put a nice block in there. We're going to place a hidden ender chest, and then we're going to add just a spruce trapdoor over the top, so you can't see it because it doesn't really fit in terms of the detailing. And then we're going to add some lighting on here, and we're going to add on this another one of our little blue orchids like so. And the final thing to do is just add some more lanterns. So we're going to have a lantern here, and we're going to have a lantern here. And then it's just up to you. You might want to add a couple more trapdoors just to make things a bit more interesting in terms of the flooring. For example, having one here, or maybe one here, and again, just to make things look better. And when we finish the interior, And now all we have is the little farm area. Now by this door that we've just put in place, we're going to start creating another circle that's going to be the enclosure for all the crops, and then another circle for some animals. We're going to start next to the door, and we're going to come out 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to move in towards the middle of the circle, and then move across 2, and then move in 1, across 1, in, across, in, and then we're moving out and across 2. Then we come out and bring it across round like this. So it's exactly the same floor layout that we had on the actual igloo itself, and we're just carrying this on round, making sure that we mirror all of the sides in the right way and bring this round like so. Now for this bit, because we've got this edge block here, it doesn't quite line up, so we're just going to connect this up directly here. And the reason that we're going to connect it up directly here is because we're then going to take this block out and add in a fence gate, take the middle block out here and add in a fence gate, and take the middle block out here to add in a fence gate, because that then means that we can get in and out whenever we need to. With this doorway, we are going to need to replace this because we want to add some spruce on the floor, so I'll just put the door back in place. We're going to have one more spruce block here, and then we're going to have a spruce stair coming up here, and this is then going to be a spruce block. And I've now cleared the snow so we can mark out the places where we need to put the water sources. So we're going to add 3 more of the spruce coming across here, and then we're going to add some walkways in first, and then I'll show you where the water blocks are. I'm just putting walkways all the way for now. So this line comes from here and comes right the way across until the middle one of these here and the middle one of these here, so that lines up on that corner, and then we head out this way. I have moved the gate over 1 as well, just so it lines up, and that comes out to the middle block here, and then we head round with our spruce walkway just round to this point here as well. Now where we're going to place the water sources are basically on the corner of this, so we take this out and place a water source there. We can place a spruce trapdoor in place, take this out, place a water source and spruce trapdoor, and then this one where it lines up here and here, we'll take this out, water source and spruce trapdoor. Out with the final one would be underneath that wall. You can either put it underneath that wall, I'm just going to do it right next to it because it's nice and easy to do. So that gives us the walkway and the full hydration for this whole area. So now till all of the ground and add whatever crops you want. And we're also going to add some lighting just going around the edge, just at fairly regular intervals, so I'll just pick these large edges here to add some lighting. The other thing that you might want to do with your lighting is just shift click and add some torches on the water sources, just to keep everything lit up in here so things can't spawn. With the crops planted, the very last thing is an animal enclosure. And we're going to do that by coming to this block by the corner, by the path here, and we're going to bring that out by 2. Then we're going to bring it across 1 and out 1. Then it's going to go across a total of 5, and we're going to bring that diagonally across, back and forth like so. So there's going to be 4 diagonal fences if you count them, and then 5 along here, and then diagonally we're just going to connect this up to the edge of the build like so. So this gives us the full animal enclosure. We're going to add ourselves some lights, not that, just on top of the fences like this. Again, we don't want any mobs to spawn particularly. And the last thing that we're going to do is add some ways in, so replace these with some little fence gates rather than having the fences, with also a fence gate to get in from the actual build itself. So I'll put some animals in there, and then I'll give you a quick run through of the whole build. So here we have our finished igloo, and I've just done a little bit of decorating with some snow layers. Snow layers are the bushes of the snowy plains, because everything looks better with some snow layers. So around the side we've got this little outside crafting area, or an area that we can do some blacksmithing there, which looks fantastic. And then if we head into the main build itself, through this door, it's very, very cozy, isn't it? I mean, look at this. We've got some stew or something brewing here, or cooking rather here. We've got a nice little interior with everything that you need for a survival base. We've got our cows mooing outside, and as we head up here, we've got a lovely, comfy and cozy bed, and there we can see all of the food smoking. So yeah, really pleased with how this has turned out. As we come out here, then we've got everything that we need in terms of crops. So we've got some wheat, we've got some carrots, some potatoes, some pumpkins, and of course some cows. So yeah, this is the finished build, the igloo, and it gives you everything that you need, and it does it in a way that looks absolutely fantastic. So I hope you've enjoyed the build. If you have, please do let me know in the comments. Please do leave a like, and please do share the video. That all of those things really do help with YouTube. Also, above all, make sure that you do subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I will see you all next time on ADcraft. Bye!